Hi there, my name is Christina Weber and I run a company called Christian Biz Owners on Fire. We help Christian entrepreneurs that want to have a fulfilling and prosperous business or ministry while keeping their relationships a top priority on a daily basis. And today I'm going to talk to you about 5 signs that you are going at your own pace and why it's important to do that. And of course, as an entrepreneur and someone who's evolving and wanting to grow in all areas of your life, it's really important to challenge yourself. And that means, step a little bit out of your comfort zone. And those of you who follow me know I'm fairly compulsive about self-improvement. And I always have a coach, at least one coach, and have multiple coaches actually. Excuse the dog eating her breakfast this morning in the background. But anyway, so I wanted to just share some experience I've had in terms of, when you are being mentored or you are really stepping up your game. Yes, it's going to stress you a little bit, but I have learned that there's a point at which it's important to pull back and kind of take that information and go at a pace that you feel comfortable with. You really don't get ahead if you're operating at a pace that's faster than what your psyche or whatever is going to do. So here are 5 ways to challenge yourself but still go at your own pace. And the first sign that you're going at your own pace is you have good self-care. So if you really need to have some basic things you do, like for me, regular exercise, getting enough sleep, eating healthy. It's such a rush that I can't get those things done. And I would even add building in some margins for, like, after I'm with a client, to take some notes, that I'm not racing off somewhere and then I have notes piled up and I can't remember exactly what I need to write down in those. Those are all examples. If you have the self-care in place, you probably are operating at a pace. I'm not saying that you have time to just lay around and really go at a snail's pace, but if you can structure your day so at least those minimum things are getting done, that's a pretty good sign you're operating at a good pace. The second sign is that you're feeling centered and peaceful. When I'm operating at a pace that's not consistent with me, I start to have, feelings of, well, a lot of times I'm not doing self-care exactly, and, you start to have feelings that you're not really, and this kind of ties into this next one here, but not really in your own body. You're kind of out externally, especially as a woman. It's always a good sign if I'm into my own body, I'm feeling my feelings, I'm feeling my sensations of my body, versus feeling very disconnected from my body and from God. A lot of times my prayer life is another example. It's not that I don't do the prayer life, but when I'm operating in a pace that's not a good pace for me, I'm really not having much communication with God outside of that structured prayer, versus when I am having at a pace that works, I'm having good conversations with God throughout the day, and I'm feeling at peace. Also have a sense of confusion a little bit when I'm not centered and, I ruminate over things rather than kind of putting things to rest or having clarity about what I want to do with stuff. So that's really the third sign, clarity and confidence that you're on the path to your vision. When I'm operating at the right pace, I feel like I'm doing the things that are important to my vision. And that's the thing. People outside, everybody has their own one thing. I'm a big advocate of that idea of just really think of that one thing. If that thing were in place, all the other important things in your life also would be in order. Everybody's one thing is different, and they don't understand. They don't know. That's not something you share with everybody. What your one thing is and how you make that a priority in your life. So it's important that you be the judge. Is the pace, is the activity level you're going in still allowing you to make sure that one thing is a top priority? So that's really important. Number 4, time to create new systems and habits. That's the other thing. When you're incorporating new ideas and things like that a coach can help you do, you're clumsy at it. Like for me, I'm learning this year better how to do sales in my business. Well, I'm a little clumsy, and so it takes me quite a bit longer to do what it's going to take a seasoned person to do. And if I rush it, or I don't let myself slow down and kind of determine a process, especially if it's a new behavior you're doing, if I don't let myself slow down and figure out a process, what happens is I stay in an ineffective zone. I may technically get to the networking groups, but I'm not following up with people the way is going to be profitable or actually have some fruit from it, because I'm just getting something off the checklist, but I'm not really doing it in a way that is efficient, that I really thought through, and that leads to the results I want. So to do that, it just takes a little more time, and if you're not willing to give yourself that time because you're operating at a faster pace, it gives you the illusion you're making progress, but you're really not making the kind of progress you could if you just slowed it down a little bit, no matter what anyone else thinks. And I'll add that, you know, I'm in a mastermind, and part of what we do is we challenge each other, not in a rude way, but know when the challenge is valid for you. Like for me, it sounds so simple, but my big goal in spiritual direction and in my business is getting to bed on time. If I get to bed on time, it really gives me a whole hour the next day to focus on my vision. Work that's going to move my business forward versus just getting the basics done, but I'm not really doing that work that's going to take my business to that next level. And so, you know, it's hard. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but when you're really busy, and I have 3 kids, I'm really busy, you know, getting to bed on time, it's not like I'm just laying around and, you know, watching TV, but it's a challenge, but it's important. And sometimes I don't get to bed on time for legitimate reasons, and other times I was on Facebook 20 minutes longer than I really needed to be, you know. And so even if someone challenges me, I don't necessarily assume I did the wrong thing, but I take it as, let's just be honest about my behavior. Was this a legitimate struggle here and I couldn't control it, or, you know, were there some things I could do different? So again, nobody knows where you're at and trying to correct these habits and create new systems that are going to work. So you have to have some self-honesty, but it's nice to have that accountability to help you challenge yourself. The last one is, you know that you're going at your own pace when you're able to stay on the basics, on top of the basics. And I've, you know, had times where I've gotten behind on email. Now, email shouldn't be the first thing you do because it's not, doesn't require the most brain power, but it, you know, we need to stay on top of things to be professional, to respond to people in an appropriate amount of time. Doing my notes from appointments I have with people, it's pretty important to do that. Keeping my clothes ironed and laundered, getting to the dry cleaners, the process of getting a personal assistant, but still needs to be done. Go in the grocery store, preparing. I have a bunch of stuff right here, you know, things I need to make some. I was planning on making some snacks and stuff, but I haven't had time. And again, that affects my self-care because these are healthier snacks that I'd be making that I don't have time, I'm not giving myself time to do. So I'm not staying on top of the basics, and then things pile up. There's clutter. I'll show you some clutter here. You know, my little food and everything that I'm going to make, and I just haven't made it. So it created some clutter now all week. I haven't gotten this done, and I have it out, so I'll remember to do it. And I'm a little bit behind. And again, that does take effort and time to catch up. So if you're at a pace that's so fast that you're not catching up, or you're having to spend a whole day and a half to catch up, probably makes more sense to slow it down, give yourself some more margins so that you really can catch up to all the new things you're learning to do in your life and business. That's going to help you get to your vision. So I hope this has helped, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. If you'd like to explore working together, I would encourage you to go to my page, www.talkwithchristina.com, and look into my GPS session, the God's Will Planning session. Really try to offer value to people, not only to explore working together, but also giving you some great strategies where you're at right now that are just standalone that you can take and use to help advance you towards your vision faster and quicker and easier and smoother. Take care.